Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with the Critters. My name is Laura Joseph. Hey, everybody. My name is Laura Joseph, owner of the Animal Behavior Center. We are an international educational center teaching people across the world about using applied behavior analysis and positive reinforcement with the animals that are living, loving, and learning in our care. And hey, good morning, everybody. You can find out more about us at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. We teach people around the world how to use and interact with animals using applied behavior analysis and positive reinforcement through our live streams. Good morning, everybody. Hey, I see a lot of people are, I see Shelly's riding or driving. Good morning, everybody. I have a special episode of Coffee with the Critters for you today, and I'm doing something new I've not done before, so bear with me through this, but I have a lot of enrichment ideas to show you guys today. So today's topic of Coffee with the Critters is summertime enrichment. We are so focused on enrichment here at the Animal Behavior Center. The thing that I like to do primarily is enrich animals, because with enrichment, it empowers the animal. It helps prevent abnormal repetitive behaviors. And studies show that if you're actually using positive reinforcement training, it's the animal's preferred form of enrichment. So that is the reason I train. And I started off with getting into animal behavior through providing enrichment. So if there was one thing I could do, it would be nothing but enriching animals, because like I said, good morning, everybody. It helps empower the animal. It helps provide choice, control, complexities, and it helps prevent abnormal repetitive behaviors. I've been doing enrichment with my, okay, great. All right, I see a lot of people coming on here. So let's go ahead and get started, because I have a ton of videos and it's probably going to take us the whole hour to get through this. So for anybody that's wanting to get in touch with me, you can always reach me at my email personally, Laura, Lara, at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. And those emails come straight to me and are answered by me. And for the first 4 hours of every day, I am checking my emails. So I see Pat in the house. Pat, I have a video of you and Deb Jones coming up. So let's get rid of this. And I need to share my screen. Let's see what I have on here. So this screen share in this live streaming app is new for me. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Hey, there's Nancy from the Chalk Festival. Nancy, down in Key West, I sent you a message the other day. Yes, Pat, I have a video of you and Deb in here. You'll remember. Good morning, everybody. So let me see if I can bring my screen up here. We're going to talk about different types of enrichment today, summertime enrichment. And we've got everything in here from dogs, lemurs, pigs. I have a lot of pigs. We have hornbills in here. We have porcupine. And did I say pigs? Yeah, pigs, and more pigs. The only thing I left out was fish enrichment, because that excites me. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started, because my screen share goes through alphabetical order. So we're going to start with aviaries, okay? And then we're going to move on to different types of mammal enrichment. Yay. Okay, so aviaries, you guys know, you've seen the center here. And this is more than just an aviary, because this outdoor area we have is full of enrichment for mammals, visiting mammals and resident mammals, and fish. So aviaries are a huge part of living with birds, and I have a webinar specifically on creative outdoor aviaries enclosures for birds. These are usually larger flights, and they provide sunshine. They provide all kinds of things for the bird. And with me, I have built numerous aviaries. We're getting ready to build another one because I like that change. And you guys always hear me say, keep the animal used to change, changing environments. And I'm going to show you how we do some of that here. I've got to, see, this is where it comes in tricky for me. It's because I've got to go in and open each one. So aviaries provide so much for our birds in ways of, okay, how do I get that on my screen? There we go. Providing sunshine. Okay, sunshine. Share my screen. And sunshine is so important. Get up there. I was just doing this right before. Maybe I just skipped to some videos. Provides sunshine, provides, we do a lot of things such as giving different types of fruits and vegetables in our aviaries, and we can do that through share. Why is it not sharing? Bear with me, guys. Like I said, this is new. It's going to really suck because I put so many hours into providing this for you guys. Okay, I'm just going to throw this back up there real quick and bring it right back down. Good morning, Tim. Good morning, Sylvia. Okay, I was just able to do this. Let me see if this works real quick. Sunshine, yeah. Aviaries provide sunshine, constantly changing enrichment, such as the animals and things flying around outside, the wind. I always provide shelter. Good morning, Catherine. So animals can get out of the wind. If it rains here with our aviaries, our birds love getting in the rain. Willie will perch way up high. We have the roof open, and that's where she will get some of her the rain. That's how she takes her baths. Let me go ahead and just try to skip the photos. It's too bad because we have some beautiful photos. So something else that we have hanging baskets out here where, and I want to get back into this year, we have hanging baskets with different bird safe plants and flowers. And the animals, not just the birds, love to interact with those different types of flowers and herbs. So we can provide herb gardens for the dogs. Milo, I know Jason Crean has the raw whole feeding, the Thrive group. And I know he grows different types of plants for different types of animals, including reptiles. Let me try to move on and skip. Okay, because I have a couple really cool videos. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, now it's working. Okay, I'm going to play this video for you guys, and this is, we're talking right now in the Parrot Project about beginning flight and recall. So this first section is just going to be about birds, then we're going to start moving into different animals. This is a video for you. And we're talking about, we never just launch a bird here into flight. We teach them. And here you're going to see Rocky after several weeks of teaching him how to land, because they, what he would do is he didn't know how to land, so he would crash into a wall, and that would positively punish his future behavior of wanting to fly. So we taught him how to land first. And let me put this on solo and play this for you. This is Rico and Rocky in flight. Okay. And this is Rocky on the left, Rico on the right.
Here he comes.
So here comes Rocky on the right, coming in for a landing. Boom.
Nice job, Rocky.
He needed to.
Nice job.
He needed to learn how to put on the brakes first before we taught him how to fly. And let's see, we've got one more video of, and this is in portrait instead of landscape, but this is Rocky learning how to land on smaller objects. So we first taught him how to land on the ground because it was a wide runway. And now look what he's doing. Let's see. Get up there. Okay. These guys are going to hear a complaint from me because I wanted to show you. This is a video of Rocky learning how to land on smaller objects, because in the beginning we taught him on the runway on the ground. Let me just throw this back up here again because it worked the last time, right? And then see if I can share my screen. How disappointing. Guess I won't do that again. How would I do this differently? Here we go. Okay, that's Rocky learning how to land on small, oops, darn it, got it up there. Land on smaller objects. Let me rewind that for you guys. Because there's a lot that goes into flight that you wouldn't think about. So he's, instead of going to the ground now, he's flying up, and see, that's shaping his confidence in landing on things smaller and smaller. Now he lands up in the rafters. That took him a while to do. This is Rico doing, I taught him to do a complete lap around the center and fly back to my hand. We now have this aviary heated so we can use it throughout the winter, but we don't clip wings around here. What we do, instead of modifying body parts, we modify behavior. You take a natural behavior away from an animal, usually you're going to get other behavior concerns, and it just teaches the animal how to do the undesired behavior faster. Okay, so from the awesome Amanda Kelly, she's the BCA that helped brought more attention and awareness to stopping our use of one-time plastics. So what we do here is we recycle a lot of our plastics, and I'm trying to show you a video. Can you guys hear that? I'm trying to show you a video. And this is of Milo using a plastic bottle. Let's just stop that. Sorry. What it is a video of Milo using a plastic bottle, and we use this. What I'll do is I'll take the end cap and drill a hole through it. So a lot of times what people will do is they drill too many holes and the food comes out too fast. So we talk about increasing levels of complexity. I'm going to throw this back up there just because it worked last time. Increasing levels of complexity. It's not pulling it up. Man, this is so disappointing because I put hours into this last night. Maybe I try. We try something new. It's not going to let me do it. Because what we'll do is we'll take a lot of different items that you may throw away, such as plastic bottles, boxes, stuff like that, and we put the food in them, and the food can fall out a lot of times too quickly. So there's different things you can do to add complexity, such as the size of the hole you drill, the areas of the hole you drill. So I don't usually like round balls as foraging devices unless it has something a little more intricate, because it's so easy for that ball to roll. So I like to take items that are like rectangles and with bottle caps at the end. And then I will increase complexity by just drilling a hole into the bottle cap. And that's what this video is of a plastic bottle with just the hole drilled in the end. So as Milo's rolling that around, the food doesn't come out of the sides because it's likely to keep rolling from side to side. He has to learn how to manipulate it and tip it upside down on the one end and the one end only. Let me try this one last time. There we go. Now it's working. Okay. Let's throw this up here. Do it solo. Here's the video. So the hole you see is there at the one end. And a lot of pigs, their number one behavior issue is aggression. Turn this down a little bit. Number one behavior issue is aggression. So a lot of times what I'll do is I will throw a foraging device in the room as the new person enters. So not only am I redirecting behavior, I am also creating a conditioned reinforcer. New person comes in, new object, new replacement behavior. Okay, and here is another one that I'm wanting to show if it works. And it is using a plastic bottle as well with Rico. I'm going to have to contact this app and find out what I am doing wrong. I can try to share my entire screen. Okay, let's try this one more time. There we go. Back down, Coffee with Critters. Welcome. Another episode. Our Senegal loves the small water bottles. He actually puts one in his food bowl. Yeah, and Sheila Blanchette shared a video with me this week of a bird, a parrot, that was, looked like it was tool using a bottle cap to pull out water. But I said, actually, Sheila, do you know what that bird is doing? It is contra freeloading, and animals will contra freeload for water. Okay, having the same problem with this one. So I won't do this again. Sometimes it only takes one time for something to be a positive punisher. And this has positively punished my behavior of sharing my screen on Facebook. So what this video is, there we go. No, what this video is, it's Rico foraging with a plastic bottle, but I wanted to show the level of complexity used. And what I do with Rico is I will not drill holes in the water bottle. Daphne, yep. I put pine nuts in a paper cone cup, twist the paper cone cup, shove the paper cone cup in there, and it's too bad because this video shows levels of complexity. Let me do this one more time because it worked. Levels of complexity. It's trying. It's showing that it's trying to share it. So he has to. What he's doing in this video is there's intermittent schedules of reinforcement. So I drop a couple pine nuts in there, and it's in the bottle. But he's trying to get the paper cone cup because there's your S and disc. There's more amount of the reinforcers in there. So as he tips the bottle up, once in a while, a pine nut will slip through. There's your intermittent schedule reinforcement. But also that paper cone cup blocks the opening, creating your level of complexity. So the other pine nuts get stuck behind it. And as he keeps trying, that paper cone cup gets closer and closer, and I have this video of him sticking his tongue as far as he can into that paper cone cup, adding that level of complexity. And he almost gets it. Well, he does get it eventually, but he sits there, and because studies also show animals prefer enrichment that they can manipulate and that change shape. That is why we make a lot of our own enrichment here, and we make it so the animal destroys it. We always say a toy that's destroyed is a toy that it's enjoyed, because when the animal can manipulate that enrichment, it gives them more sense of control. The more control they have over the environment, the more choice they have. Let me try something different because I'm coming up on another one with a pig. I'm going to try this. It's trying. There we go. There you get to see what it looks like behind the screen. Let's try this. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Whoops. Guess not. That was short-lived. Try this again. Sorry, guys. That's the first time I've done this. There we go. Okay, so what I'm creating is we use a lot of vinegar here. So I've drilled a hole and I'm creating complexity through, I'm going to play that again. I'm creating complexity through providing the plastic bottle on a chain, and I'm also creating complexity pending. You can do this for the parrots as well. You can do this for the dogs. We do this here for all of the animals. The level of complexity is going to depend on the height of that chain, and it's also going to depend on where the holes are placed on the bottom. Now we do, and we show this in the Pig Project. It's a live streaming service we have here where we add complexity by lifting that chain, because the further up that chain is lifted, the animal has to lift their head. So we do this for the dogs as well. We have several of these. We have one in the center. We have one in the training room. We have one in the large enclosure that we use for multiple different animals. We have one in the middle of the bird room. I almost hate to make any kind of change here. Let's see. Let's go on to, here's one that I created for the ostrich that were here. Oops, I don't want to show you that one first. I want to show you this one first. Okay. Do you guys remember when the ostriches were here? This is, now I would change some of this for older ostriches, but what we were trying to do was we noticed that they like to keep pecking at color. So we added different color to this bottle, and then we created holes in the bottles, and we stuck different fruits and vegetables in there. So here's a ring.
Because I'm not chasing around a 300-pound ostrich to get it on a scale. But if it's 300 pounds, I guess I already know how much it weighs now, don't I? Okay, now I'm seeing everybody's response.
So there's this kale. There's
so
peppers.
Yes, so we have,
I would be careful with those beads because they will continue to peck at them. You don't want them ingesting this, but here, let's see if I can get this as big as I can for you guys. Check this out. So what I want them doing as the ostriches get older, I want them to start rolling this around. And even as the ostriches get older, you can start hanging this, because now these ostriches are about 7-8 feet tall. This was 2 years ago when we had them here for training. Now you can take large objects and hang them with big holes in the side, and they see that. And when these ostriches come around to this backside, watch what they do. This is what I learned from watching them. They start pecking at those green dots on the bottle. So when I'm providing enrichment, this is what I'm looking. What are they doing? Not necessarily what aren't they doing, but what are they doing? And then when I noticed what they're doing, so watch here, peck, peck, peck. So that level of, I can introduce it to them on the ground, and then that level of complexity comes in as I hang it. Okay, let's see, here we have suspended water bottles with Milo. And now what? My screen is just going to stop working. I hate to get out of the screen because I'm never going to get back into it. All right. We did that. Okay, here we go. This is an idea we saw with dogs that we just incorporated it with Milo. Reuse of that one-time plastic, right? Oops. That's one. It was nice, but they learned it very quickly. And this is why I say keep your animals used to change. Okay. Here was Axel, our green arsari that we had here that now resides at the, I believe it's the National Zoo. You can provide fruit. On skewers. And if Parrots R Us watches this, I know they just have have Prince, the baby toucan. There's different things we provide here to different hornbills, and you'll see we have a Von der Decken's hornbill coming up, but also level of complexity. Toucans can't do a whole lot with their feet. So we tried to create that level of complexity through different fruits and vegetables we would provide. And here we do a lot of, depending on the animal, we do a lot of fruit and Kongs, but we increase that level of complexity by freezing the Kong. And this was Molly, the lemur that was here for a short period of time from the zoo for training. And what we would do is we would freeze fruit inside of her Kongs, but before we froze it, we would string a hanger through it. So once she learned how to do this, we were trying to teach her how to use her hands more. And yay, there you are. Good. I have a couple in here for you, for prints, ideas for prints. So then once she would see it and she knew how to manipulate it with her hands, then we add in levels of complexity by how we would hang it. So she would go in her enclosure, and this is a way to get them back into their enclosures as well, is you get this Kong, and you only get this Kong when it's time to go back into your enclosure. So there's your D and disc, deprivation. So the more the animal does not have access to these Kongs, the higher value it becomes. Then you have the conditioned reinforcer. Boom, go in cage, Kong is delivered. If this, then that. And then we would increase that complexity by how it hung and where it hung. A lot of times people that hang enrichment will hang it right next to a perch. You can increase complexity by moving it further away from that perch, whether that's for a bird or a climbing mammal. Okay. Let's see. Can you guys see these photos and videos okay now? Would a Kong be safe with a cockatoo? No, I do not provide Kongs to cockatoos. I do not provide Kongs to parrots. Okay. Here's we freeze fruits and vegetables for Milo, the mini pig. You can also create complexity by taking these small cubes that we freeze fruits and vegetables in and then provide, will you guys tell me if you can see the photos and videos okay? Then we provide, say, larger dishes of water. Then we drop all those cubes into the water. So now the pig and the dogs, we do this for the dogs too, have to try to grab those cubes, and those cubes will slip out of their mouth and pop back up, kind of like bobbing for apples. Thanks, Jill. Bobbing for apples, and creates that complexity. You're welcome, Lori. And takes them longer to eat, whereas if you were just to put these fruits and vegetables into their dish with a pig, it'd be gone in 5 seconds. Okay? Thanks, Debbie. Hey, Debbie, how are you? Okay, now I'm going to move to ground enrichment. So let me show you this first with the grass, and then I want to move back up because I want to show you building levels of complexity. All right, so we do this with all the mammals. We do this with the pigeon. What we do is we save leftover bird food. This was when I was first teaching. This is how I would do it with any mammal, or bird, teaching them how to forage through the grass, okay? And this is how Milo now gets his pellets. He doesn't get them in a dish. They are thrown everywhere. So it takes him periods of time. It'll take him a half an hour to eat his breakfast now versus 30 seconds. Okay, so I start dropping it where it's really easy for them to see, and then I start increasing complexity. So I can take something simple like this and increase complexity by...
Hey everyone, Laura Joseph here, owner of the Animal Behavior Center.
So this was through the pig project. This is all minor, simple enrichment. In our projects and in our memberships and in our live streams, we do things that are more complex, but we don't like to show a lot of what the complex things we do here to the public for one reason. And, well, a couple reasons. But one is if it's too hard, you guys don't see the steps in which it took to shape that, so you'll tend to give up easier. But what I'm doing here is he's used to foraging through the grass for his food, so now I'm dropping it in piles of leaves. Now he's really having to use his sniffer. This would be great for Snow, our deaf and blind dog, increasing levels of complexity. You see how long it's going to take him now to eat his food? Okay. Good to see you on here, Jill. All right, so here is Pocahontas, and the African crested porcupine we brought in from a zoo. And what I would do was with Pocahontas, I had never trained a porcupine before, and I love training animals I've never trained before. And I don't want to necessarily hear, I want to hear how the animal can hurt me. But what I'll do specifically, because so many times I hear people say, my animal won't do this. I will listen, I will hear you say that, but I'm going to watch your animal. I'm going to sit back and observe them, watch how they're using their hands, their feet, how they move their body, what they can do. What I focus on when I'm shaping enrichment is what can the animal do. And I was told with Pocahontas, they need to chew on wood to keep their teeth filed down. So this would be great for rodents. So I watched the foods that she loved, absolutely loved. And guess what she got in her dish? Not those foods. When she got those foods was when I would create enrichment, and I needed her chewing on things. So this is Pocahontas. She needed to chew on wood, so she loved her rodent pellets best. So we drilled holes the size of her rodent pellets and shoved her pellets in there. So now she's having to really chew that wood apart to get to the pellet. That's how we can get those teeth filed down without having to do a teeth trim. And here we do not file the beaks of birds. But we don't have any medical conditions here that would cause those beaks to grow excessively. If we did, like we were just saying the other day, I believe this was in level 2, we were talking about this. A lot of birds have herpes corpuscles in their beak, in their feet, in different parts of their body. That lets them pick up on vibrations. That's why I was saying the other day, that's why if there's a tsunami coming, your birds are usually the first ones gone. And I also said, if you have a quiet sky, you should have started running about 4 hours ago. If you do not hear birds chirping, there is a reason. But we don't trim beaks here because of that herpes corpuscle. All those herpes corpuscles, they feel that intense vibration in their beak. So what we do, just like we did with the porcupine, was we get them foraging through their food with having to chew on food to keep those beaks filed down. Parrots are us. This is for you. This was a Von der Decken's hornbill that was here, and feel free to email me as well, because I have a ton of ideas for hornbills. So we would take her superworms, and this is me shaping complexity. So she's looking at me, she doesn't necessarily understand. So I kind of stick my finger in there. Are you seeing that? Yeah. So this is the beginning stages of her learning. And then I'm creating a condition for reinforcer. Once she would see these new items come in her cage, then she knew my worms are in there. And I would deliver her worms at no other time. Yeah, I would. Just lesser value worms. But we start creating complexity. We would take paper cups as well, shove stuff in there, and then push it in. We would stick her superworms and her fruits in there, and then just toss it in the bottom of her cage. You can, see that paper cup in the background? That's what it is. And then we can create complexity by where the ground was the easiest way for her to learn. Then we would take those and shove them into like coconut cups. We would shove them into things that could hang. So it would cause her, she did do a lot of work with her feet, but the complexity comes in when she hits that hanging object and it moves, and it would come back, and she'd have to grab it with her beak. You want to keep hornbills busy. Okay, did I go through all the fruit? Yes, I did. Went through the ostrich, we went through the bottles, we went through the aviary. So let's move on to showering. All the mammals and all the birds that come here, we don't just bathe them, we teach them. I was looking for videos in which I shaped the behavior of Snow, our deaf and blind dog, liking water. And there's an article I wrote out there called Curiosity as a Reinforcer. Many people punish that curiosity. Do not punish that curiosity. If you have a curious animal, you have all the room in the world to create enrichment. Keep that animal used to change, training it, okay? A lot of times if people they'll see an animal like curious about a new object, and then they'll go up and grab it and shove it in their face. Boom, that could be flooding, meaning, and it's also paired with you. So now you're pairing yourself with an aversive, poisoning the cue. A lot of people that way, they will positively punish curious behaviors and shape and unknowingly shape new object. Scary thing, got to run away because boom, it's going to be thrown in your face. All right. So when I saw Snow, our deaf and blind dog, showing an interest in water, I was like, ding, ding, ding. I saw that curiosity. And I was like, if I move her too fast, I can positively punish any future behavior of her interacting with water, and she could just feel that water, and it's an aversive. So I started shaping it. This is how and I had to be super careful with Snow because she's missing the sense of being able to understand through sight because she's blind. She's missing the sense of being able to understand through hearing because she's deaf. So I was paying attention to Daphne's comment. Oops, maybe I shouldn't have done that. No. I clicked on something. Let's see if this shows up. Good, I think we got it back. Let me just bring it to the front. Okay, good, got it back. Whew. That just positively punished my behavior on sharing your, I was gonna share your comment and I lost my screen. Okay, so I don't want to just shower a bird. I don't want to and I just was talking to somebody on Facebook about this week. I don't just go up and start showering a bird. I watch and see how they look at water from a distance. If I were to go over and pick up a water bottle and a bird starts screaming or a dog or pig runs away, I'm going to pay attention to that. Whoa. So I'm going to back up to where I don't get that behavior unless they're screaming for excitement. So I usually start at a distance. And when Coco was at a zoo, Coco now resides with us, but I just squirted over first I just saw how he reacted to the sight of a water bottle, okay? And then I just went one time over his head, but then I had to shape that. With Rocky, totally different. He saw the water bottle. Man, if he could fly, that water bottle would be non-existent. Behavior doesn't lie. So that tells me this water bottle has probably been used in the past, paired with flooding, paired as a positive punisher, definitely paired as an aversive, okay? So this is how I found out Coco had a broken wing when I started shaping him or showering him. And his feathers growing really funny on the other wing. Coco's an older bird, at least 28 years. We were told he was 35, I don't know. That was 2 years ago, so that made me be 37. So he has a lot of, I would say, abnormalities and deformities on him. Probably a lot what I see due to trauma and possible neglect from long-term, hi guys, long-term crop infections. Yeah, I'd type it out for you, Nancy. I think it's HERBTS, Herps, Herps corpuscles, CORPUSALS. I have a book somewhere behind me I'd show you, but my office is a mess. My screen looks nice and clean, but my office is a mess. HERBST corpuscles. Okay. Let's move on to Quincy. Okay. Here's one. Can you guys see this? We can use, so water is a big positive reinforcer for Quincy. And sometimes she gets overstimulated. Just want to see my screen if you guys can see this, and you can, good. She gets overstimulated with water. So I teach her using focus and control exercises. So here I am cleaning a water bin. Let me know if you guys can hear this. So I teach her to sit, watch, good, reinforce. Sit.
Good.
Bridge, reinforce.
Sit. Good.
Bridge, reinforce. So this is my example of reinforcers are so much more than food. If you're relying on food only as a reinforcer, you're getting yourself in a trap. And if you rely on, especially with pigs, as food as a reinforcer only, if you're pairing yourself with food every time with a pig, you're setting yourself up to get charged. Okay, so here is, tell me this is an enrichment. So when I first brought Rocky home, we adopted him several years ago. I don't even know how long ago. Water was an aversive. Well, let me rephrase that. Be more specific. Is Eva in here? Be specific, Bob. This is something we say in the Parrot Project all the time. I want to say water was a reinforcer because he drank. How we presented the water. He didn't attack water bottles. He attacked water bottles that were in people's hand, and then he would attack more than just the water bottle. Okay, behavior doesn't lie. So we had to shape that. We had to shape water bottles. We had to shape the acceptance of water bottles, the acceptance of showers, and how that water was delivered. Here he is, enjoying a shower, now from a hose. Okay? We love bathing the dogs, the pig, the birds, using showers as enrichment because look at those wings flying. With Quincy, with the hose, pay attention to, Eva, pay attention to all that focus and control. That's a major focus and control exercise. That is expending energy, all right? Some of the most active animals I've lived with that constantly need jobs to do are cockatoos. We just did a live stream in level 2 the other day. We have people here that have numerous animals, and we were talking about most of the time that we spend enriching is for the parrots, because these are animals that are used to flying up to 40 miles a day, searching for food, expending that energy. And what we're lucky here if they fly 300 feet a day. Okay, so you've got a lot of replacement behavior, because if you don't provide that form of enrichment and exercise, you're going to get behavior issues. You can get that through the focus and control exercises. You can get that through training. You get that through foraging. You get that through nose work, getting them smelling, using their nose to find food. Bathing, exercise, get those wings flapping, even if the animal does not fly. Okay, because I got to get through 2 more, socialization and outings and trainings. But look how much fun that is, Rocky taking a shower on my arm. That photo makes me very happy. That bird makes me very happy. Okay. Socialization. This is something keeping your animals used to change. So I train a lot of different animals. When I first start training, boom, nobody else is training but me. I'm identifying reinforcers. I'm making sure I'm not carrying myself as a punisher, even walking into the room. So once I start getting certain behaviors, just the basics, such as eat from my hand, no matter what the animal, depending on what, I don't want an alligator eating from my hand or a shark. Eat from my hand, or how I'm delivering that food to you. You guys are watching me train the alligators in level 2, and it's fabulous. It is fabulous. Second time, I think it's a second or third approach, all I did was walk up to the enclosure, and all the alligators started following in a line, and I was like, oh, do we have motivation or what? Okay, so I start training in the beginning, and then, hey, Therese, and then as I continue training, I want to get other people in there ASAP, or this animal is going to get used to just me training it. And if somebody else were to step in, boom, aversive. Who is this? Flooding, just like you do with the water bottle, okay? So once I get like a basic recall, certain targets, with this owl, it was foot targets, beak targets, focus on me, okay? I want your eyeballs right here, because I'm getting ready to do something with your feet. And I'm okay with you looking at my fingers at your feet, but you see I had to put Jess's on. I cannot put Jess's on with a protected hand, with a glove. I have to do it with my fingers. I don't mind if you look down, but you look down. I don't want your feet moving. I want you looking back up at me. Bridge, reinforce, okay? Without pushing the animal past its comfort level, or boom, you're going to get footed. And once you get footed, I've never been footed. I never want to be footed. Once you get footed, you can't move, because every flex of muscle you give, boom, that raptor grabs tighter. So here I am getting Amanda in, feeding ASAP, just to get used to changing faces. And then we brought in anybody that was willing to work with me. Okay? Okay. Socialization, outings. We may go over 5 minutes, guys, if you can bear with me. What type of owl is that? Tanya, that is, that's a Eurasian eagle owl that came to us for training from a couple hours away from Ohio Nature Education. They focus on public education of raptors. She saw the owl, her approach quickly being paired with an aversive, so she knew enough. She's attended enough of my workshops. She picked up the phone, called me, having a problem. Can you take this owl and train it? And I said, I will take it for 3 to 4 weeks and train it. So I trained it a recall, stay stationary on my glove while I'm attaching equipment. It lived in the bird room, so I had to get used to the sights and the sounds of parrots, and the parrots with them. That's the importance of keeping your animal used to change. Okay? Here's something else, socialization walks. Something you might not think is a big deal could be a big deal to your dog, okay? This is Levi, our deaf dog. I took him on an outing, all right? That outing was next door to the business next door, and I saw they had, I know a lot of people do this stuff, they had their birds dressed up in different costumes. That is something they are not used to seeing, okay? So I just, as soon as he walked up, bridge, he can't hear me, bridge, reinforce. So show them different objects on your walks, even things like reflections, okay? So that reflection could be an aversive, or it could be, I could keep it as a neutral stimulus, and I want to keep it as a neutral stimulus, okay? Things over their heads, asking him to sit, bridge, reinforce while the wind was slightly blowing. I'm not going to ask him to sit under a flag that's whipping around in the middle of a windstorm. Not in the beginning. I may eventually, okay? So thanks for bearing with me, with you guys, with this, guys, with my first time doing the screen share. Here's Cash, a dog that comes here for training, taking him on outings. I got to go to the bank. Boom, come to the bank with me. I pick the banks that let me bring the animals, and they let me bring all the animals. So that positively reinforces my behavior of continuing banking with them. Okay. Constantly keeping Quincy used to different animals so she doesn't become reactive on her walks. All right. Okay. Here you go, Pat. You still with me? We need a spot in Northwest Ohio where I can take parrots that's reasonably safe. Nancy says today is bath day here at the sanctuary. We did this yesterday, Nancy. I'm afraid to click off screen because I don't want you guys to not be able to see the rest of what I spent all night last night putting together for you guys. Okay. So socialization, taking them on outings. And Lori, let's talk about that in the Parrot Project. I am happy to tell you how to get your parrots ready to fly and safely fly in a warehouse it's never seen before, gymnasiums, other people's houses. Okay, Pat, here you go. Wish Deb was on here, but maybe she'll watch this replay. Remember this, Pat?
There you go.
Okay, this is the first time for Suki, flying from person to person. Could easily be paired as an aversive, and she could bite. There's the awesome Pat Anderson, Dr. Pat Anderson in the background. Here's the awesome Dr. Deb Jones, both in our memberships and projects. There's Karen Pratt, our manager.
This is a first for her. Yep.
So we are not pushing her past her comfort level. There's the alarm going off. Oh man. Sorry, that alarm's gonna just have to stay going off for a while. Okay. Here's another one. This is, sorry guys for the interruption. Let me get this alarm shut off, or the dogs are going to continue to howl. Bear with me. I've got some cool ones coming up. So here's Angie interacting with Snow, our deaf and blind puppy. Stop. Wow, today's full of all kinds of distractions. Sorry, guys. Okay, deaf and blind puppy, teaching it to recall or retrieve. And by providing those toys, if it hits her in the face, it could easily be a positive punisher. Sorry, let me get this alarm turned off. Sorry about this interruption, guys. It could easily be paired as a positive punisher, punishing the future behavior of her not only wanting to interact with toys, but her wanting to interact with new objects and associated with people. Okay. All right. And then when do we train an animal to go for a walk? Not when it's time to go to the park. We do all of this prior to. This is Levi, our deaf dog. We taught him to heel next to us through using a target. And we did not have a leash on him when we taught him this. We were not at the park when we taught him this. You can do this with numerous animals. We do this with all the pigs that we train. Here's Ruby. Where am I? I'm in the living room. I'm not at the park. I'm not a big fan of taking pigs to parks because dogs go to parks. I may have a well-trained pig, but somebody may not have a well-trained dog. We talk about this in the pig project, different places to go, okay? Got lots of eager oinks, and we're gonna end with training, okay? Like you guys heard me say before, thanks, Carrie. Like you guys heard me say before, if you're actually using positive reinforcement, if you're actually using positive reinforcement training, it's the animal's preferred form of training, of enrichment. So we use training we're always training. Our animals prefer to be trained over you doing a lot of other types of enrichment. The thing is, yes, we cannot necessarily be training all the time, because I am really busy sharing quality content on my, hopefully quality content on my social media. Every morning between 7:30 and 8:30 in the morning, I'm trying to post on the Animal Behavior Center's Facebook page, Instagram. Okay, so here's Cello. I need him to go places with me. This is Cello, our roller pigeon. This is a series of training, shaping to go into a crate on cue, because once I can get him into a crate, that's a conditioned reinforcer. If I'm using positive reinforcement, now I can take him places like to gymnasiums. We're going to be taking him over to the autism model school. Okay. What enrichment for him? We can teach our animals to play fetch. This is a great one to do to expend energy. Teach any animal to fetch. We teach our dogs to fetch, our birds to fetch, pigs to fetch. You can even train fish to fetch. Yeah, look at that little water butt. How cute is that? There's Rocky in the background. Okay, here's a different form of enrichment. Say if you have a bird that cannot fly, this is what we did getting our birds prepped to fly. Because did I used to clip? Yes, when I didn't know better. I did, because I was told, when I took him in for his health care that to clip him. It was a norm for all birds to be clipped. And then I remember just thinking, something just doesn't seem right about this. And somebody told me, you wouldn't, this seems extreme, you wouldn't break your dog's legs to keep them going from going into the front room. Why are you clipping your bird's wings? And I was like, point well taken. Train it. All right. So this is how we got their chest muscles ready for flight.
Show those wings. Let's get that ball going. Get it going, Rico. Yeah! There you go.
Sandy just noticed Murray doing this yesterday in the bird room. This is something we taught him to do probably about 13 years ago, that you do have choice in where you go. Even if you cannot fly, you can find out that your wings can still get you places, okay? Here's a video. We're talking about we're getting ready to start talking about resource guarding and doing videos, live streams, and podcasts in our membership program, okay? And what I am training in this video is Levi is a resource guarder. He will resource guard people from other animals. He will step in between. So what I started doing, I wasn't sure that's what I was seeing in the beginning. He would resource guard by nipping at Snow. If I did not start a behavior modification plan immediately, this could skyrocket. So I am training Levi here to play with Snow. Snow is deaf and blind. Levi is deaf. So I'm in the background bridging, and this is also teaching me Snow's individual body language. What does it look like when you want me to interact? And she does put her butt towards people because she's learned that, because she does not like her head touched. Most dogs do not like to be pet on the head. Daphne, I'd love to talk to you about that sometime. Maybe when I have you on for Coffee with the Critters. Most dogs don't like to be greeted on the head by strangers with a pat on the head. Snow's body language is very clear with that. Okay? So I'm in the background, reinforcing with a bridge. See Levi look at me right there? I'm paying attention to that, making sure I am using positive reinforcement and not negative reinforcement. I want him to be happy playing with her, not doing it to escape, avoid a consequence, which creates anxiety, which is paired with me, which is paired with her. Okay? Snow in the pool. I think it's just a photo. That's a something we had to shape. And then I end real quick. Give me 2 more minutes, guys, with training. Ooh, maybe not. I'm going to skip that one. Oh, we already did these. Okay, tricks. Only got 2. You can train tricks. This is me teaching cello to the difference between a suit of cards. He's to peck the heart, not the spade. Boom. And then we start adding in more levels of complexity. I'm telling you, you've never trained a pigeon. You are so missing out. All right? Then we have just teach them to push a ball.
Good.
Okay? Then teach them to pick up a ball. Then teach them to pick up a ball and put it in the basket. Put the lotion in the basket. Sorry, couldn't help it.
Good.
Teach them to pick up a ball and drop it in a basketball hoop. You can do this with your fish. You can do this with birds. You can do this with your dogs. All right? Makes sense? So there you have it, guys. And yay. Thanks for bearing with me through all of this. If you guys want to learn more about what we do here, we have our live streaming services through our memberships, which is all about applied behavior analysis with numerous different animals. And we do that through live streams, monthly Q&As, podcast activities. Level 2, we're starting to do reading activities, monthly discussions, networking groups. And the projects are species specific. We have the Parrot Project and we have the Pig Project. And if you are a member, you get your projects at half off. We just had some fun time in the Parrot Project last night that I'm going to be incorporating into the memberships and the projects as well. Don't forget about our upcoming workshop, All Species Training and Behavior Workshop, presented for the first time ever with myself and Dr. Deb Jones. She's going to be coming here in a couple weeks. We're going to be working on this again. Thanks, Lori. I'm glad you guys loved it. This workshop is limited seating, very limited seats left. All right, and it's here at the Animal Behavior Center and for all levels. You're going to be seeing some things you've never seen before. All right. Yeah, fish do so much better when trained. That's why we brought them here at the Animal Behavior Center to show people, yeah, you can train fish. All right, if you guys can find out more about what we do on our website at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. And if you need to get in touch with me, you can always reach me personally at laura@theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. Sandy says, great live stream and working around. Thanks. Yes. When you go live, you learn to multitask and find replacement behaviors very fast. You cannot freak out because it doesn't do you any good. You just freak out live. You're very welcome, everybody. Pay attention to our events page on the left. We've got, I've got one more event to put up, but we have all of our future live stream through Coffee with the Critters booked until the end of September. And you can find all of those. I'm getting ready to slip in the last one in July. Next week, interview with level 1 member and special ed teacher who I'm trying to talk in to become a professional animal trainer because she's phenomenal, Bailey Goodell. I met her at Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in April through the PPG workshop. All right, guys. I'll see you next Sunday on Coffee with the Critters, unless you're in the projects or the memberships. Take care, guys. See ya. Have a great weekend. Thanks.